This is Jason the PCMD. You can visit me at JasonthePCMD.blogspot.com. Today we are going to show you how to test the memory on a computer that does not have a built-in memory diagnostic routine. Now, this is a Dell computer, and Dells do have that ability, but I'm going to show you what you can do. And this is also a test you can run on Dells or computers that have memory diagnostic, because this test seems to run very much quicker than the failures up quicker. Now the program I'm going to use, it's called Memtest86 Plus. Now there's two programs out there that do this, Memtest and one's Memtest86 and the other one's Memtest86 Plus. They were originally just Memtest86, and the development slowed on it, so some of the people broke away and created another one that's more updated called Memtest86 Plus. I think Memtest86 has also updated their stuff now, but I've used Memtest86 Plus for so long I've just continued using it. So on this Dell we're going to turn on, we're going to hit F12 to access the startup menu. Preparing the one-time boot menu. Pop out the drive here, take the disk, put it in, not as easy to do one-handed, especially when you've got other pieces of equipment around you that are getting in the way, like this hard drive. Okay, startup menu, arrow down to internal CD, DVD, RW drive, and this thing loads up immediately. So you'll see the different tests it's running in the corner here, moving inversions, ones and zeros, and this just runs multiple patterns of data through the memory to try to trigger a failure. It also gives some information about the system here. It's got an Intel Core processor. That's the original one, not the Core 2. 32K of L1 cache, 2048K of L2 cache, and the chipset on this Dell, it's an i945GM. ECC disabled. ECC is error correcting code. That's a special type of memory normally used in servers and high-end workstations. You won't see it on a laptop probably ever. And also it tells you what type of RAM it is. This Dell uses DDR2. The clock speed on the RAM is 277 megahertz. When it's doubled, it's 554. As far as the speed, I can't remember exactly what that is. The DDR memory has the speeds could be, they could be expressed in a couple different ways. This one says 554 megahertz because it's double the 277. Or it may say something like PC 3200 or PC 4200, 5400. So it's just running these tests here. It's got two 512 megabyte DIMMs in there, and also it tells you the brand. On this one is Commanda, and also the serial numbers on there. Some of the memory, the serial numbers are the same, and I think it's just because the manufacturer just doesn't care enough to actually update that information. While it's running, if you ever think it's locked up, just look in the corner. If that little plus sign is flashing, then the test is running, or you should see some movement here. Now if something fails, the memory is going to go red, and it's going to show you the memory locations that fail here. Now some interesting things that you can learn from that. When the memory fails, you don't really know if it's slot 1 or slot 2. So you would have to take out one stick of memory from the laptop and run the test again. And if the test all passed, then you know probably the other stick is bad. But that's not necessarily a 100% thing, because sometimes the memory slot or the motherboard can be bad. So usually what I will do, if it fails, I will switch the memory, the two DIMMs locations. so that the one that was in slot 0 is now in slot 1. Then I'll run the test again and I'll see if it changes. If it doesn't change, then I know there's probably something wrong with the motherboard. And then you can take one out and run the test with just one installed and see if it fails. You can try that in the second slot if you want to test the second slot. And when you finally determine which memory stick is bad, then you'll just replace that one with another one of equivalent size and speed. With memory, you can always use memory that's faster as long as it's the right type. Again, this is DDR2 memory. There's also DDR memory, which looks almost the same, but the notch is about 1 millimeter moved over, so it won't fit. I've actually seen people who have forced them to fit, but you'll damage your computer trying to use that because the pins don't line up correctly and you'll probably short something out. So this will run pretty much as long as you let it run. It'll start all over again. We are at 36% right now. And again, if it goes bad, you'll see red here. And you can also, if you use Linux, you can actually work around the bad spots in the memory. It'll give you memory locations, and if you have your Linux kernel compiled with the bad, you can actually pass all of those bad memory locations at startup to the Linux kernel, and it will just ignore that memory and just work its way around the memory. So that's just something neat. Again, this is JasonthePCMD. My website is jasonthepcmd.blogspot.com. If you need computer help in the North Fort Worth area, Keller, Watauga, just contact me through my website and I can help you out. Thanks. Bye.